The world of television has lost one of its most prolific, beloved, and influential masters of the sitcom. James Burrows, the legendary Emmy-winning director who helped create Cheers and directed more than 1,000 episodes of iconic shows like Taxi, Friends, Frasier, Will and Grace, and The Big Bang Theory, has passed away at the age of 85. His death came not from years of illness, not from a long battle with a chronic condition, but from a peaceful and quiet passing that left the entire entertainment industry stunned and grief-stricken. His family confirmed his death in a statement to People, saying he passed away peacefully today, surrounded by his family. The specific location and cause of his death have not been disclosed, and his agent, Rick Rosen, confirmed the news but did not disclose the location of his passing or the cause of death. James Edward Burrows was born on December 30th, 1940, in Los Angeles, California, and from the very beginning, he was drawn to the world of television, to the craft of directing, and to the kind of connection that comes from making people laugh. He didn't start out as a legendary director. He didn't become an overnight sensation. He started as a young boy in Los Angeles who loved television, who watched every show he could, and who believed that he could make it to the highest level. He moved to New York when he was 5 years old, and from there, he pursued his passion for directing, studying at the University of Southern California and eventually landing his first directing job in the 1970s. He was not the kind of director who needed to be the loudest or the most aggressive to win. He was the kind of director who could win by being smarter, by being more consistent, and by being more patient than everyone else. That was why he became a legendary director, and that was why actors fell in love with him. His breakthrough to professional fame came in the 1980s, when he began directing Taxi, Cheers, and Frasier, and he quickly established himself as one of the most talented and consistent directors in the industry. He was known for his calm demeanor, his precision in editing, and his ability to stay neutral even when the pressure was at its highest. He directed over 1,000 episodes of television and was vital in the development of some of the most iconic series ever created, including The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Taxi, Frasier, Friends, Will and Grace, and The Big Bang Theory, among numerous others. He was not the kind of director who needed to shout to be heard. He didn't need to make grand gestures to be remembered. He just needed to be present, to be real, and to be honest in the way that only a true director can be. That was why he became a legend, and that was why actors fell in love with him. What made James Burrows so special was not just his directing, but the person he was. He was known for his dedication to the craft, his love for his family, and his willingness to give back to the community that gave him so much. He was the kind of man who never stopped caring about television, who never stopped giving back to the industry that gave him so much, and who never stopped believing in the next generation of directors. He was not just a director. He was a mentor, a friend, and a source of inspiration for millions of people around the world. He made every show feel real, made every scene feel important, and made the idea of comedy feel possible. That's the kind of impact he had on his fans, and that's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by tragedy, no matter how painful it may be. During his career, James Burrows directed some of the most iconic and enduring shows in television history. He was the co-creator of Cheers, and he directed the first episode of Will and Grace, Friends, and The Big Bang Theory, setting the tone for each show and establishing the style that would define them for years. He also directed Frasier and Two Broke Girls, and he earned 11 Emmy Awards and 47 Emmy nominations throughout his career, a testament to his incredible talent and his impact on the industry. He was not just a director. He was a leader, a mentor, and a friend who passed on his love of television to millions of people around the world. He made every show feel real, made every scene feel important, and made the idea of comedy feel possible. That's the kind of impact he had on his fans, and that's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by tragedy, no matter how painful it may be. James Burrows married Debbie Easton in 1997, whom he met while she was a hairstylist on Frasier. He had 3 daughters, Kat Scatso, Ellie Gluck, and Maggie Burrows, from his first marriage to Linda Solomon, who passed away in 2004. He was a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a man who found joy in the quiet moments, in the conversations that mattered, and in the connections that lasted. The tribute expressed, above all, Burrows was a dedicated father and grandfather. He is by his cherished wife, Debbie, 4 daughters, and 7 grandchildren. James Burrows' net worth was not widely publicized, but his impact on the television community was undeniable. He was someone who believed in lifting up the next generation, in giving back to the community, and in making sure that the people who came after him had the opportunities he had. That kind of generosity, that kind of openness is rare in the industry, and it is the kind of generosity that earns love, not just from fans, but from everyone who knew him. The television community has been flooded with tributes from fellow directors, from actors, from fans, and from people who grew up watching his shows and finding comfort in his laughter. Some have shared stories of the first time they saw him direct a scene. Others have talked about the way his directing made them feel when they were going through the hardest times of their lives. And still others have simply written that his spirit was the soundtrack to their lives. Those stories are not just about television. They're about the way James Burrows made people feel, the way he made them believe in themselves, and the way he made them feel less alone. For fans, James Burrows' legacy will live on in the shows that defined a generation, in the scenes that still bring people to their feet, and in the quiet moments when they watch footage of his directing and feel like they're being watched by someone who truly understood the spirit of comedy. He was not just a director. He was a companion, a friend, and a source of comfort for millions of people around the world. He made every show feel real, made every moment feel important, and made the idea of comedy feel possible. That's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by tragedy, no matter how painful it may be. His spirit will continue to echo through the decades, through the shows, through the broadcasts, and through the hearts of everyone who ever believed in the work he did. If you've ever been moved by James Burrows' directing, if you've ever watched his shows and found comfort in his laughter, or if you've ever been touched by the way he brought so many shows to life, take a moment to honor his memory. Please like this video, and if you enjoy stories about the lives, legacies, and losses of the people who shape our entertainment, consider subscribing to this channel. Together, we can keep remembering the voices that taught us how to laugh, one show at a time.